Where is the line between trusting someone and giving them your steering wheel? If you have ever leaned on a person or a system a little too long, this story will help you see the edge before your foot slips. We start late at night, when the city is quiet and choices get loud. It is 2:17 in the morning, and a junior nurse named Lena rides a bus home in her blue scrubs. Her phone lights up with a message from a mentor who runs a neat self-help circle.
Proud of you, do not quit 5 minutes before the miracle.
The words make her feel warm and watched at the same time. She smiles, then frowns, and she is not sure which face is the honest one. This is the night the good thing starts to tilt. Now let me rewind a little and tell you how Lena ended up on that bus with two feelings in one chest. Lena is careful and kind, and tired in a way that sleep does not cure. She takes care of other people all day, and forgets to take care of herself by night. On a bad shift, a dosage almost goes wrong, and her hands shake when she fixes the document. A visitor in the unit sees the shake and speaks to her with calm words that do not wound.
You caught it, which means you are careful and not careless.
He says his name is Evan, and he hosts a free group that teaches structure and small wins. Lena says she will think about it, and goes back to her charting with a small, clean breath. She misses a bus and ends up waiting under hard lights with her thoughts. The next day, a coworker named Nadia hands Lena a card for the same group and smiles with relief.
It helped me stop doom scrolling and made my head quiet at night.
Lena does not promise anything, but the second nudge lands where the first one softened the ground. That week, Lena and Nadia walk into a rented hall with foldable chairs and the smell of weak coffee. Evan stands at the front with a whiteboard and easy words.
Borrow my structure until yours grows back.
The room nods, and Lena nods with them because the sentence is simple and fair. The app he shares is friendly and gives badges for small habits. Lena picks one habit, which is to sleep before midnight 3 days in a row. She logs her nights, and the app puts stars on her screen, and she wakes less foggy. The group claps when she hits her 3 days, and the sound is soft and safe. At work, she uses a checklist Evan taught her, and it stops a new mistake for a new patient. She feels steady and not lucky, and that is a new feeling. Lena tells her brother Ken over noodles, and he raises an eyebrow and tries not to rain on her.
If it helps and costs nothing, then keep the receipt anyway.
Lena laughs and says she is not the type to join anything, and she is only there for the coffee and the checklists. Weeks pass, and the small wins stack into something that looks like a life with handles. Lena stops doom scrolling, drinks water, and writes 3 lines in a journal before sleep. Evan keeps his tone even and kind, and he never yells, which feels rare in a loud world. Then, the first new rule arrives, and it is wrapped in praise and reason.
If you are in a storm, you call the lighthouse before you move your boat.
He asks a few members to try a pledge for 30 days, where they consult the method before big decisions. The room feels proud and brave, and Lena wants to be brave too. She signs the pledge and texts Ken a photo, because she thinks it is bold and not risky.
Bold is fine, as long as you still drive your own car.
Lena thanks him and says it is only a month, and she is not a child. The first week with the pledge is calm, because small choices are still hers, and she picks well. She sends 2 questions to Evan, and he answers with simple steps that work.
Sleep before the decision, if it is not urgent. Write 2 options and 1 worry for each option, and then send me your draft.
She follows those steps, and her choices feel cleaner, and the app puts a crown on her streak. Then comes the rule about time with doubters.
Protect your healing from people who do not respect it.
On paper, it reads like a boundary and not a fence. In her chest, it starts to fence. Lena sees Ken less, because Ken teases the app and says badges do not hug you back. She tells herself it is only until the pledge ends, and that the method needs quiet to take root. Nadia hits a rough day and breaks her streak, and the group watches her walk to the front.
We celebrate honesty more than streaks.
He withholds the public praise that week and says it will make her stronger, and the room agrees. Nadia nods and sits down and looks smaller, and Lena feels a twist she cannot name. That night, a senior nurse offers Lena a rotation she has wanted for years, and the shift would land on group nights. Lena drafts a yes and then remembers the pledge to consult first. She types a long message to Evan and waits with her thumb over send. She sends it and walks to the window and tries to enjoy the city lights while she waits.
This is good news, and you deserve good news, and I think it is not yet.
He says the new role will add stress and will shake the new habits, and that she can reapply later. Lena replies that she understands and thanks him, and declines the rotation in a clean email. 10 minutes later, Regret walks in and sits on her couch and does not leave. She tells herself the method sees a bigger map, and she repeats the phrase, "not yet," until it sounds wise. On the next bus home, she gets that proud message again, and the warmth and the watch feeling come back as a pair. She opens the app, and her badges glow, and her chest feels empty. When a win tastes flat, it is trying to tell you a truth you do not want to hear. Ken calls, and she almost rejects it, and then answers without thinking.
I was rough on you, and I know why. Because I got hooked on hustle quotes a few years back, and I ghosted my own sister for weeks.
He says he knows dependence in a different suit, and he is sorry for the side-eye.
If you want me quiet, I will be quiet, and if you want me loud, I will be loud, but I will not leave.
Lena sits very still and lets the apology land, and then asks if noodles are still on the table.
Always on the table.
She keeps the call short, and for once she does not ask Evan what to say or how to feel. The next meeting is full, and the air is warm. Evan talks about trust, and the room breathes as one.
The method works when you trust it more than the chaos you came from.
Nadia raises a hand, and her voice shakes, and the room goes quiet.
I lied about my streak because I did not want you to be disappointed.
The confession hits the floor and does not bounce. Lena stands up without thinking and walks Nadia out to the hallway, and the door closes behind them.
You do not owe anyone a perfect line of stars to be worth care.
I never cheated in school, but I cheated in app because I wanted a pat on the head.
They stand there and hear the group through the door, and neither of them moves to go back in. Evan opens the door, and his voice is gentle and firm at the same time.
Come back inside, because process loves the light, and shame loves the dark.
Lena turns to him and asks a plain question in a plain tone.
If the method is strong, can it live with me disagreeing with it?
He smiles and gives an answer that is a circle and not a road.
Trust grows when we act in alignment with the structure that saved us.
Lena hears every word and understands the costs hidden in the praise. She thanks him and walks Nadia to the street, where the air is cooler.
I am going to accept the rotation and see if my habits can stand on their own legs.
I want to sleep one night without the crown and see if I still breathe.
They share a quiet nod, which is stronger than a pep talk. Lena writes an email to accept the rotation, and she does not send a draft to anyone. She texts Evan with a message that is grateful and clear and not open for debate.
Thank you for what helped, and I am returning what I borrowed.
She does not add emojis or extra words for comfort, and she puts her phone face down. Ken meets her by a food cart and pushes a water bottle across the table.
To starting fresh, to keeping receipts, and to showing up when it matters.
They eat in easy silence and do not try to fix the past in one night. In the morning, Lena turns off notifications on the app and keeps the checklist on paper. She goes to work, and the shift is still hard, and people still need her, and she is present without a ping. That evening, she returns to the group one last time, because closure is a door you should close with your hand. She speaks to the room in a way that saves face for everyone.
I know a woman who forgot her legs worked and who borrowed a cane that was good and sturdy until it asked to be carried everywhere.
She thanks the room and leaves while people are still thinking and not yet arguing. Outside she breathes, and the air has edges again, and edges are useful. Days pass, and the rotation begins, and she learns fast and fails small and corrects fast again. She misses the easy approval, and then she does not miss it, and then she misses it again, and that is normal. Ken checks in without advice, and Nadia sends a photo of a messy journal page with a smile.
No crowns this week, and I slept anyway.
Lena replies with a photo of her paper checklist and a coffee ring.
Still standing without the ping.
There is no dramatic explosion and no villain who gets dragged away, and that is how real control often works. It asks for inches and turns inches into miles when no one is watching. Faith helped Lena when she had no spare hands, but dependence asked for her hands forever. Think of this simple picture. Faith is a bridge you cross when the river runs high, and dependence is when you build a house in the middle of the bridge. Now picture one more simple scene. A method is a borrowed umbrella, and you keep it during the storm, and you give it back when the sky clears. That is enough. The point is clear. What matters is this plain rule that costs nothing to remember. Any help that punishes you for standing on your own is not help anymore. Any guide that cannot handle your no is not a guide you should follow. Lena keeps a few tools, because tools do not get jealous, and they do not text at 2 in the morning. She keeps the sleep rule, and the checklist and the journal lines. She leaves the pledge, and the crown, and the idea that she must ask permission to live her life. Evan moves the group forward, because groups move, and a few new members take the pledge with hope. He is not a monster, and he is not a saint, and he believes in his system more than he trusts people to grow messy. That is his line to find, and not Lena's job to paint. Ken stops making jokes about badges, and starts asking how her shift went, and he listens to the whole answer. Nadia builds a different streak, which is the streak of telling the truth, even when her voice trembles. The city keeps going, and the bus still runs at 2:17, and some nights Lena takes it, and some nights she is home by then. She still gets tired, and still makes small errors and still fixes them, and she forgives herself faster. Her choices are not perfect, but they are hers, and she can carry them without asking for a receipt. Let me return to the first question. Where is the line between trusting someone and giving them your steering wheel? The line sits at the point where advice turns into permission. The line sits at the point where you are afraid to say, I will decide. If you need a quick test, here it is, and it is easy to use. If you can say no and keep respect, then you are in faith and not independence. If your no earns punishment or exile, then you cross the line. Lena did not become a rebel, and she did not burn anything down. She just returned what she borrowed and walked on with her own steps. Her life is not an ad and not a warning sign, and it is a set of simple days that she gets to own. That is the quiet victory most of us are really after, even if we dress it up in crowns and pledges. I hope you felt the turns in this ride, and I hope one of them gave you a way to name your own line. If you are in a place that asks you to shrink to stay loved, then you have an answer now, and it is yours to keep. If you are guiding someone, never ask them to trade their thinking for your praise. Praise them for standing, and not for kneeling. Now, here is the short lesson the story wants to leave behind. You can borrow a spine, but you must return it when your own wakes up. You can thank the tool and still put it back on the shelf. You can trust a guide and still trust yourself more. Thank you for staying with me until the end, because attention is the rarest gift, and you gave it. If this story worked for you, please tap the like button and subscribe, because it helps more than you think. Drop a comment with the line you are drawing this week, because your words might help someone else. If you want to support the channel, use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. In the description, you will also find other stories from our different series, and each one goes its own way. I am glad you were here today, and I hope you will join me for the next story. This is Gold and Thorns, and I will see you soon.